hurdles that you're facing right now? Is it simply exhaustion? Is it running out of creative approaches to anything, right? Including like meals, games, studying, whatever, work. Is it just feeling like so tired? Is it being bored, right? What is it that you are experiencing right now? I would love to know, and that way we can talk into that a little bit more, right? And for me, it's a mixture of those things, right? It's a mixture of coming up with creative, innovative solutions. It's making sure that I stay stimulated and have conversations with people who light me up, right? That I work with people who light me up, that I have mentors who encourage me when I get stuck, that I have support around me and my family as well, right? So it's about reaching out and making sure that you're staying kind of like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in a space of growth rather than stagnation. And that doesn't have to necessarily be exhausting. It might feel like a big ask, but even like I'm using this Clubhouse platform to have really interesting conversations with different kinds of people, and I'm really enjoying having that different approach. It might be that you meet friends and you go for a socially distant walk, and the kids are able to chat to their friends and you're able to chat to your friend, and just have that extra stimulation from another family, even though you're still socially distancing, right? And depending on where you are, it's very, very different in different countries. So what you can do and the way that you can stimulate your own development and growth is going to, is going to vary from place to place, right? So this is the thing. Okay, let's see if Eva is hopping in now. Okay, let me see if she can get into the platform. So yes, let me know. And how old your children are. What do they need, right? Have some of you still got children who are going to nursery school? Have some of you got children who are being homeschooled and you're still carrying on with that over half term? Have some of you got older children who are pretty self-sufficient, right? So let us know, what is your situation? What is going on for you right now? And then we can speak into that. So I'm going to introduce Eva now to our platform, and she's going to tell us a little bit about some of her techniques that she teaches to her clients to get them kind of through this funk, right? And to help manage behavioural issues, because this is one of the things that we often find, that when children are bored, when they're not engaged, when they're playing up, when they're acting out, there's often maybe something emotional underneath, behind the scenes going on. So we're going to talk into that a little bit more now. So Eva, hello. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is lovely to see you here in the Home Education Hub and on Facebook. So I've introduced you just a little bit and popped your bio, obviously, around this video as well. But for those of us who don't know you, who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, just tell us a little brief bit about who you are, what you do, what your passions are, and then we'll carry on with our conversation this morning.
Yes, sorry. Yes. I'm Eva Tana'atara. I'm a mission-driven entrepreneur, and my passion is changing the way children grow and helping transform family life and parents-child relationship. I was a corporate person, a single mother in responsible position, so I know and I can relate to, all the stress and difficulties and challenging managing your household, your work and jobs and everything else around, and organize yourself and having a loving, nurturing relationship with your kids. I didn't succeed at that time, I have to say. So I wish I would know what I know now. But in this transformation and changing path and step into my passion and start to work with children and families and teaching, also teaching assistant and tutor, proxy mothering, I mean different roles, and also equate with different techniques, karma parenting, positive descriptive praising. Now I know what I should have done.
Yes.
Basically, I would like to teach parents to avoid all these traps and have more nurturing relationship and happier family life.
Amazing. And this is why we're having this conversation today, because I would love for you to share maybe one or two of your approaches or one or two of the tips that you find sharing most often with your clients. And I was talking into how this pandemic has been going on for almost a year now, and I think that it's really beginning to take its toll on parents especially. I mean, on everyone, but on parents especially. The novelty is seriously wearing off. And the having children at home 24/7, sometimes at school, sometimes not at school, then they're back at school, it keeps changing all the time. And what would you think is the one kind of tip that you could use, that you could share? Like at the moment in the UK, children are on half-term school holidays, those of them who were kind of schooling at home. What's something that you could share where parents can just really quickly kind of top themselves up and kind of get ready for the next big changes that might be coming?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I know that exams has been cancelled. Definitely education is a big stress factor in parenting. I've seen that, I know that. Some of them is maybe too much. I mean, you need to reduce your stress and anxiety about education, but you may need to know, or get a different perspective on parenting, and education as well. Like Albert Einstein saying that doing the same thing over and over again is kind of insanity. You have to rise above somehow in some way, and you have to rise above and calm yourself and take a different approach or perspective and try to see it as, okay, so what is good in the situation? What is best? If we having unprecedented time, this is unprecedented time, clearly. Never ever happened before. So how can I switch to unprecedented techniques or mindset or growth mindset? Yeah. How can I see it from a different perspective? How can I see it as a blessing? Okay, so I can be more aware, or I have this freedom of, okay, so what is most important to me? What are my values? How can I shift my approach in parenting and focus on more about collaboration rather than being authoritarian? What is my parenting style? Maybe my children just reacting to my parenting style. Yes, I'm stressful, but parenting is a two-way street. It's about me as a parent, it's about my children, and the relationship between us, right? So am I acknowledging him? Does he feel that he has been heard? What is my communication style? Can I change my parenting style? And just see them as holistically, like big souls in small body. Then I'm just caring about their physical health or well-being or their mental health, but they can also add something to the family life, and they need to be heard and need to be acknowledged. This is why they're behaving. They're just reacting to my parenting style and also reacting to study problems. Definitely, they also stressed out. Everybody's stressed out in this uncertainty. But if I find my techniques to calm my mind, meditation, binaural music, yoga, whatever techniques I'm using, and just I mean, even if I'm mindful, I can think, so what's the worst case scenario? or we can have more peaceful, we can see the blessing on the situation, we can set up our foundation for our future family life, and we can prosper like never ever before. See the opportunity to grow, see the opportunity to transform, see the opportunity to set up the core values and nurturing relationship. Our children need our support.
Definitely. I think one of the issues, that I'm finding is that even with this growth mindset as a parent and as a family, and saying, yes, this is how we want to be, and we get it, and we want to seize the opportunity, I feel that we're really being pulled back by the education system. Because it's really, really difficult, because you're getting sent this work home. And even if you want to step out of the education system, there's still this obligation, right? Schools are making parents make their children do the work. They're literally getting fined if they don't do the work. They're literally getting, emails home. Why hasn't your child turned up? Why haven't they submitted their work? Why are they falling behind, right? Because the schools don't want to be held responsible for children going backwards. So they now stepped up to the mark, and they're like, right, okay, well, we're delivering, you've got to deliver, right? But the problem is that this education that the children are being sent home is not what you're talking about. It's not about a growth mindset. It's not about child-led learning. It's not about asking curious questions, right? So you have to step outside the whole system if you actually want to really be able to do things on your own terms. And so what parents are finding is, if they're not already homeschooling, that they may have this growth mindset, and let's do these things and discuss our values and go on exciting journeys of curiosity together, and now you've got to sit down and do this lesson over Zoom with Mrs. So-and-so, right? And you've got to do this at 9 o'clock, and you've got to do this, and you've got to send it in, and this is what you've got to do. And so they're getting this behavior, this backlash from their children, because on the one hand, the parents recognize that they're changing their parenting techniques, they're changing their approach, but the school is still far behind. So if you don't want to deregister your child and totally take on board the whole homeschooling thing, which many parents don't because they both have to work or whatever reasons, right? How do we redress this balance so that you can kind of parent in a way that you want to, but still give your children the opportunity to turn up and benefit from the schooling that is available as well?
That's not easy. Definitely, that's again an unprecedented challenge. It has never happened before. Although we know that our education system is in crisis since a couple years ago, and it's just getting more and more obvious. I mean, it's if children just teach or train to prepare for the exam instead of learning by understanding or applying what they study, it's just a dead end state. Because if they fall behind, see, again, I'm talking about my experience. If someone is just memorizing whatever study, maths or English or science, then they will not remember. Or if they missing some gap because they lost understanding, then again you need to go back and reestablish that understanding, and then step up or get back to the level regularly where they are. Whereas if someone is learning by understanding, like those kids I was working with, then after a certain time or a period, they even don't need any assistance because they have an understanding that they are also skilled, and parents are also skilled on how to learn. Since we're learning for life, that's an important skill, right? So learn how to learn, yes, and then they can achieve and thrive, yes. Okay? So it's like I'm not trained them to prepare for the exam. It's are studying. And if you do that, then you will be able to also thrive on the exams. But not by just memorizing the subject. Yes, you may do that with the one or two you don't like it, but with the one you have talented and skilled, and then parents help you focusing on that, then you can thrive. And again, I mean, the pictures have the puzzle is more colorful, because in some coaches already talking about that. If you want to thrive as an entrepreneur or be successful in life, you not necessarily need an Oxford diploma. Because also some people are talking about that certain skills are not taught at the school systems. Yes, like
absolutely, yes.
Learning skills, time management, many useful life skills. Yes, so.
Yes, this is something that I'm developing in the Switched On Academy. Are these life skills like nutrition, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, time management, how to set goals, your SMART goals, tapping into your vision, defining your path. Got this whole kind of other curriculum which is going on alongside to supplement or to complement really what's going on in schools, but the things that obviously the teachers don't have time to teach, and the things that aren't even in the curriculum. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, from my perspective, anything that you can ask on Google doesn't need to be in the curriculum anymore. If you want to find out about the Egyptians, you can go and find out about the Egyptians. You don't have to go to school to do that, right? You don't have to learn, you don't have to, with anything really. So anything that you can ask a question about in science, history, geography, religion, right? All these subjects, you don't need to go to school to learn anymore, right? It's all on here. This is your classroom, right? This is your portable classroom. So we really need to think very carefully about, well, what is it that is valuable to learn in school? And actually, the core skills of English and maths, I would say, are absolutely fundamental, and that's why I still focus on tutoring those. But then for me, it's these other life skills, how to have a healthy body, healthy mind, right?
Yeah,
and then develop, as you say, the passions and the skills. Because I can't remember which entrepreneur has said it, but, many very successful businessmen have said, if you do what you love, if your work is what you love, then it doesn't feel like work.
Yes. And parents need to encourage their children, nurture them and let them grow in a way like they are talented in certain, one of the kids, he was dyslexic, but he was so brilliant with computers, and still had this deep confidence issue because he was different than the other one, because he's dyslexic, so he didn't fit into the box. Whereas he was so talented on computers, 9 years old. I was just, oh my God. Yes? So obviously he will succeed in some way which relates to computers, right? And all the rest is less important. Yeah?
I absolutely agree. It's about developing those passions, those skills, those talents, which every child has, right? Yeah. And one of the things that I love, and I'm always blown away with by, through my tutoring is to see that brilliance in every child, to see their gifts, to see their talents, and to unlock that for them so that they see it in themselves. They don't see it as a difference, they see it as a unique brilliance, as another colour that's being brought to the palette of humanity, right? And we need all this variety. We need these different approaches, right? This patriarchal system is no longer valid, right? It's no longer valid. But it does put parents, and educators, conscious educators, in a very difficult position, because we're in that transitional phase right now. And people have still got a foot in the old way, in the old system. The still kind of clinging on to, well, what if I take the risk, but then they still need the A levels? What if I take the risk and they still need to get GCSE Maths level 6, right? What if? And so it's very difficult. We've got a foot in both camps at the moment.
Yes, but you still can, yes? If you see that, if you know that, and make a conscious choice, you see that academic education teaches us that we always have to know the answer. But then how we would discover or any innovation would happen if we would always know the answers, yeah? Academic education teaches us not to make mistakes. But if we're not to make mistakes, how do we learn, yeah? So it's like crashing with each other. But still, if you set up your foundation of being a collaborative parent, see your child as a big soul, sit down with them, explain, so they also, kids also can let the stress go of being fit to our parents' needs, or our parents are pressuring us to certain way, whereas inside we're resisting on that, yes, and then again it manifests in behavioral issue. So if we set up these heart-to-heart connections, agree, set up the foundations, that's important. What would we like to achieve as a family? What's important to me? What's important to you? Okay, so I use positive descriptive techniques. After the strategy and after my mindset shift, yes, and use a couple other technology, positive descriptive praising or rewarding table, and put all those targets we agreed into the rewarding table. And I just remind them, and if they don't have to obey, they will open up, and kids will also tell their opinion. Yeah. So it's just a good chance. And if they learn by understanding and just, my experience was maybe probably the same with you. These revision guides are so brilliant. Yeah. It's just, if before you prepare for the exam, KS1, KS2, whatever exams, go through this revision guide with a professional, and you will discover, since it's it's like really following a step-by-step approach, and starting from the beginning, and ending up to be prepared for the exams, and you just go through, you will succeed in the exams. You will succeed, because many times I also observed that somehow the school system is what's happening. They're teaching the same thing. They're teaching the same thing in year 1, in year 2, in year 3, and kind of hoping that if the child didn't understand it in year 1, he will have in year 3 and understand in year 3. So, what is it? What's methodology, or how the system works, or why is it? Then someone who knew it in year 1 already bored in year 3. Someone who didn't know it in year 1 may not know it in year 3 because he is missing some gaps. So it's something very strange. Very strange. Definitely don't need to be stressed out about it.
No, I have to say, I think there's so much pressure on children who are getting younger and younger now. I mean, it's crazy. I was commenting in a Facebook thread the other day, and I just said, this is making me so sad. The pressure that the parents felt to make their children, write stories at the age of 4 or 5, and it's ridiculous. I am calling out the bullshit on this and saying, you do not need to do this. The children have got years to write stories. They cannot write stories if they don't have any story language even in their heads. You don't need to write stories, you need to listen, you need to speak, you need to use imagination, you need to go on adventures, and you need to create stories first. You cannot write a story where there's nothing inside to create it from. This is crazy. Please stop, parents with 4 or 5-year-olds. Put all the education to one side and just connect with your child. That is all that needs to happen.
Let them be a child. I mean, science proved it, that this is why I'm saying big soul in small body, because they have some wisdom, but their mental or their brain capacity is not there yet. They cannot think like an adult. Definitely, if you want to have on the same level, you go to their level of mental level, and help them understand. And definitely help them understand is through play, or through giving them simple things and reality. Just look at how they playing with the Lego. They would like to touch. They would like to have reality, real mass. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's it. And yes.
When I think back to playing with my sons, my eldest son in particular, when he was 4 or 5, and he had a huge imagination, and he now wants to be a film director, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't worried about him writing his stories down, but what was hilarious was that we used to combine the different kits. So we would have like a pirate ship, for example, and we would play all the goodies and the baddies and the pirates and all of that. But then we also had like a big castle thing with all the knights and the princess in the tower and everything else.
Yeah.
And we'd end up creating this crazy story, completely led by him, where there'd be pirates attacking the knights of the castle, and the drawbridge moat would lead to the pirate ship, and he'd mix it all up, right?
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, no, we've got a story about pirates, and then we've got a story about princesses and princes and knights and dragons, but he mixed it all together, which is brilliant. And so it's about using what you have, right, and just going into their world, but getting them to express it, because that is how later on, he's now, a level 9 in English, A-level, he's at art college, he's making his films, he's writing play scripts. That's not because I wrote stories when he was 5.
Beautiful, yes.
I let him explore having an imagination where anything was possible, where pirates could attack a castle, right? Where the princess could go off in a pirate ship if she wanted to, right? Because that wasn't the normal story that we would read in a traditional fairy tale. Yeah. But the point is that it didn't matter. And so I would love to, my plea to parents over this kind of half-term break, if your children are on half-term break, is to just, let them play and let them explore and allow this creativity, allow this space for imagination, allow this space for curiosity, and just put all this academic bullshit to one side, right, for a few days, please.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't need to be neglected. Just handle it in a different way.
Yes.
This is the advice. And otherwise, be innovative with your child. Like this wonderful example about the pirate. Again, I also had this experience that I worked with a girl, I think 9 years old, and she was really artistic and struggled with spellings and English. And again, we went through this story kind of things, like she was drawing pictures from vacation, or what happened with them, or what did she like. And I asked her, please just write a little story beside your picture. So in the book, she had a picture in one side and then a story on the other side. And we grew from there, because for her, that was the entry point to English and to spelling, yes? And working for about, 6 months, 8 months, and by Christmas time, she was writing a poem. And I was like, gosh, oh my gosh, this artistic girl, nice, creating a poem. She's making artists from the words. Wow, fantastic. Yes, meanwhile, her spelling test also improved, yes? But that was a real breakthrough.
Yes, and it also it's about having a reason to do the spellings, right? So if you're getting really excited about your comic strip that you're creating, or your paintings that you're creating, or your imaginary world that you're creating, and you're talking about it, and then if it comes from the child that for some reason they want to write it down or remember the order, or you're taking little photos of what they're doing and they make some notes, then there's a reason for writing. Then there's a reason for spelling. Not just because you've been given a random list of 5 words with no context, right? So it's about having this bigger why, tapping into a bigger why. And I think that during time where there's not so rigorous hours in front of Zoom for schooling, it's about getting back to that again, getting back to the reason for wanting to learn anything in the first place. We're going to
would be, maybe that's also desirable to know what are those barriers of learning.
Yes.
So what are those barriers, and how can you overcome that? And how can your child love learning? Because she knows how to learn, and if she get the results she would like. I mean, this, as you're saying, this is just to explore. I mean, it's so interesting.
Yes, yes. And children are innate learners, right? They're innately curious.
By nature.
It's the school system that's knocked it out of them.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Brilliant.
you know, just know that actually with a bit of space, your child will begin asking questions again. They are innately curious. There was, Mommy, why are you doing that? Mommy, why are you doing that? Why?
Yes, be a partner. Be a partner.
You know? So, Eva, we're going to kind of finish off here. But if people wanted to know a little bit more about the services that you offer, or if they want to get in touch with you to have a conversation, you know, to see if you can support them with your calm parenting techniques or with managing their children's behavioural issues, where can people get in touch with you? How can we find you?
Yes, I'm on Facebook, so they can find me on Facebook. My Facebook profile also have a link to my page, my Facebook page, Change the Way Children Grow. I also have a Facebook group called Pillars for Successful Parenting. If they would like to have more tips and ideas and just some encouragement, I can have a complimentary call to get through some strategic questions or burning issues, because traffic is unprecedented. Parents have too much pressures.
Yes.
And I'm on LinkedIn as well. I mean, my professional profile is more on LinkedIn. They can also on LinkedIn.
Perfect. That's amazing. Thank you so much. And, you know, we'll put some of those links as well to your group and to your page underneath this live video, so that people can quickly and easily find that when they've listened to our conversation, even if it's neither of us. But please know that you're not on this journey alone, right? Everybody's going through this difficult time. We're both mothers, we've both solo parented, we're both educators, we get it from both sides of the fence, right? We hear you, we see you, we know some of the difficulties, and we are here to help you.